That we looked at the also mudslide. Bill Schreier is here in the room today. He's done a terrific job of describing in some of the blogs and articles that he's put out on how communications were not just wiped out to public safety, but they were actually wiped out to a lot of the community. Losing landlines, losing the internet, losing their broadband access overall, losing wireless communications, and all these things happening in one area at the same time. So when we look at deploying a FirstNet network, we also are really looking at that resiliency, what needs to be built in to restore communications when they're taken out by a massive event that you can't always harden completely against when the Earth moves. So these things are huge, and we need to make sure we look at that through every part of deploying a network, planning a network, and also looking at the cost benefits that go into that network. When we were in Minnesota, we had a terrific discussion with the Minneapolis fire chief, who was actually the on-scene incident commander on the I-35 bridge collapse. Absolutely a devastating incident. And talking about the unique issues that happen when a big event like this happens, and it happens actually in a valley. Like in a valley, if you think about the riverbed is actually below where most of the typical radio and wireless communications happen. There's a lot of ground level communications, but when they actually went down into the river, the reality is their systems, both LMR and cellular, did not cover the river. They're used to operating up on the bridge, they're used to operating in the city of Minneapolis, Hennepin County, but they're not necessarily used to operating down in that particular valley. So what can you do to deal with those kinds of emergencies going forward for public safety in the nationwide public safety broadband network? What kind of deployables can be used to go in and bring a network to an area that traditionally doesn't have public safety responses that really dictate that network being pointed down into a valley or into the river? Very unique elements. Also looking at what kind of information would they want to have. In Minneapolis, one of the things that was unique is they had a lot of traffic cameras that were on that bridge, and they really wanted to see number of vehicles and what types of vehicles were on the bridge right before it collapsed, making sure that they found all the different vehicles that might be in the river. That information was available from the Department of Transportation, but was not necessarily in the hands of the fire chief or in the hands of the police, fire, EMS responders to be able to get that data. These are the kind of things we hope we can do a better job of with deploying the broadband network as we go forward. Other use cases as we look across the country, there's a number of different, go to the next one for a second. We have Frontier Day Parade in Wyoming, we have the Waldo Canyon Fire in Colorado. This Waldo Canyon fire was just a massively fast-moving fire, significant large event, also took out a number of homes. And in a very rapid fashion, a series of different weather events came together and made this fire more devastating. And they actually had two major fires over 2 years out in the Colorado Springs area that were quite devastating to both homes and actually the environment. These kinds of things are unique because some of them occur in areas where there's actually very little people living today, and then they actually move into heavily populated areas. And what can we do to have a network that's resilient against those kinds of issues or can respond to them? What I want to end on today is really where we're going and how you can keep up with FirstNet. One of the things I heard just before I walked up here, I want to thank Don for bringing it up. He said, well, you're really putting out a ton of information. You're putting out a lot of public notices. You've got a lot coming up with the RFP. I'm glad that we're now getting people saying, maybe you want to slow down or maybe we need more people to keep up with some of this information. And I think that's a good thing. Also, I think it's a good thing that you can see that we're out talking to all of you often. We're trying to have as many meetings as we can to share information, share where we're going. We're also trying to get into a very deliberative process, both during consultation and the RFP process, so that we can work together and end up with the best solution for the police officers, firefighters, and paramedics across the country. To be able to do this, we are really leveraging our website. We put all of our information out on there. We have a number of key fact sheets. We have videos. We have a number of different social media sites that regularly update, whether it's via Twitter or others, things that we're working on, meetings that we're having, and most importantly, documentation. As we get into the board meeting next week, we'll be posting all of that on our website as well. Really think it's important that every single public safety individual in the country has access to this information. This is public safety's network. We're just given a mission to be able to help implement that network, deploy it so that we can serve all of those public safety first responders that this network was meant to be a part of their everyday life as we move forward. And so I'm honored to be able to have our team here at IWCE to be able to interact with all of you. Hopefully you're all here for the same reason that I am, that we want to make sure that this network happens and serves the needs of public safety each and every day. And I look forward to being able to talk to each and every one of you over the next couple of days. Please walk by, please catch up. You can always reach out to me as well and our team. On our website, if you're a vendor, we actually have vendor request forms for requesting meetings or sharing information with FirstNet. I really ask you to leverage that. As well as speaking events. As you can see on here, we've got hundreds of speaking events. We have another 200 or so that are already planned. I really recommend you go to the website if you're having different events that you want to have folks at, just so they can coordinate and have the right people in the right state at the right time. Often those get emailed to me, and you're actually going to get a faster response from Kyle and Ryan and some of my great team that makes us successful, just because there's so much going on on a day-to-day basis. But we're moving very quickly with urgency in both the consultation and the acquisition process. Hopefully you're all going to be engaged in either one or the other or both as we move forward. And I couldn't be more excited to be a part of a mission that has such an important purpose in our country to make a difference. And all the public servants who are working together to make this happen at the city level, the county level, the state level, and at the federal level, I thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. Everybody is pitching in, both volunteering and doing it for your own organizations or agencies. And all I want to do is say thank you. It's going to be an exciting next couple of years as we work through this. A lot of hard work to go. This is complex, but we're only going to get out of it when we put into it. So I encourage you to get involved and look forward to making FirstNet what it needs to be for first responders. Thank you.